Not really yoga class, but a lot of detailed information about all the postures that make up the Surya Namaskara A sequence. It's more like a posture clinic, really. We're working on plank right now, so let's come into plank and explore it. Before we go there, we're going to do a couple of things to help you understand the different body parts and the different engagements that you want to feel when you're in plank pose, because there is a lot of stuff that I see that's questionable. So you're going to come onto your palms. With plank pose, as far as your arms are concerned, the wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in one straight line. Now what you want to do here is wrap the triceps around and under so your elbow creases point forward. Your index fingers are pointing forward, elbow creases pointing forward. So there is like almost like a dual action when the arms are straight, whether it's in down dog or plank. Your forearms are hugging towards each other, and the upper arms are wrapping away from each other. So it's like two opposite things happening below the elbow and above the elbow. So below the elbow, forearms squeezing towards each other. Above the elbows, arms wrapping away from each other. And that external rotation of the upper arm, the wrapping around and under of the tricep, creates a lot of space in the upper back for you to protract the scapula. Now the scapula, the muscles in the top of the back here, which feel like if we were birds, they would be our wings. So as human beings, we don't have wings, but we've got these muscles, and it almost feels like when they connect, when they spread, they kind of spread across the upper back and around the triceps here. So it kind of creates this locked upper back situation that becomes a really powerful place for the shoulders, keeps the shoulders nice and stable, and also connects to the core strength. All right, so hands come down to the floor, wrists in line with the shoulders. We're going to do a little retraction, protraction exercise here. So keep the external rotation of the upper arms. You know that you're doing that correctly when your elbow creases are pointing forward, and then keep a little bit of a posterior tilt in the pelvis. So not a neutral spine, not anterior, posterior. So send the tailbone slightly down towards the floor. Isolate this work in your upper back. So as you drop the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Try not to bend the elbows, arms are straight. As you exhale, press the floor away and spread your wings. So broaden through the upper back. So again, it's not a spinal movement, it's not cat and cow. It's retraction and protraction just in the upper back. Inhale to drop the chest. Exhale to press the floor away and wrap your wings. Inhale to drop the chest. Exhale to press the floor away and wrap your wings. So if you were to do this with an imaginary floor underneath your palms, if you sit back and try it, you'd squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other without flaring the rib cage. So you'd squeeze the shoulder blades together, keep the spine nice and straight, but still manage to squeeze. And then as you exhale, you're pressing the floor away, again, not including the spine. So don't round the back as you do this, but keep reaching forward. So you start to feel the scapular work. Squeeze, keep the spine nice and straight, and then press away and keep the spine nice and straight. So it's the same thing. And what you want in your plank pose is a protracted upper back. Protraction in the scapula. So spread your wings, push the floor away, breathe into your body, and we're going to step back into plank pose. Okay, I like to keep the feet together because that reminds me to squeeze the thighs and adduct, and I can start to engage my core here by dragging my hands back and dragging my feet forward. So I feel like my core is now really working hard. The thing to understand, and this can be a really excellent place to work your core strength, is that the core is responsible for holding all your body weight. Okay, the shoulders are not doing all the work. The core is involved here. It's doing a lot of the work of just holding your body weight. The shoulders are actually working to keep your body in alignment. All right, so the shoulders are not carrying 50 kilograms of weight. The core is doing that, but the shoulders are actually responsible for keeping you in the plank shape. Does that make sense? So the protraction in the upper back, the slight posterior tilt in the pelvis, you step back, you want from the crown of your head to your heels for that to be one straight line. All right, so try not to pike your hips, try not to bring them down too low, keep the spine nice and straight. I just want to spend a little moment here talking about the transition from forward fold into plank pose. Now I see a lot of people do this one. They place their hands on the floor, they'll jump back. Now every time you do that, make that transition, especially with the jump, you tend to shock your lower back. You bounce and you bounce and you bounce, and over time, that's gonna tend to cause you a little bit of pain in your lumbar spine. So, to be safer with this transition, my personal opinion, and this is only my opinion, you can take it or leave it, is to do one of a couple of things. One, just step back. Just step back to plank pose. Find your alignment there. Breathe here. You don't have to transition like everyone else is doing. You don't have to put that pressure on. Just doing it. The other thing that you can do if you're working on jumping back is to jump the whole body back. So you jump your hips back as well and then straighten up into plank pose. Let's see that one again. At the top of the mat. Hands down. Jump back with the whole body. And then shift forward into your plank position. Protraction through the upper back, solid shoulders, core is working to keep you in the pose. All right? So plank can be an extremely useful posture when you're moving forward into things like arm balances and inversions, but you want to make sure that you're doing it right and you're doing it safely.